Welcome to WASD QuakeCon edition.
Okay, so technically.
All right, so guys, we are at QuakeCon. QuakeCon is over. We shot WASD last night. It was amazing. You'll never see it because the camera didn't get it.
The camera started rolling for about a minute and then turned off.
And it's a shame because it was probably one of the funniest.
We were drinking and having a lot of fun, and we tried to film it a second time, and it was a disaster.
Now I'm just gonna smoke some meth right now.
If anybody watches this sober, they're gonna unsub so fast.
Speak on WASD.
Oh my god.
Special, he's got his phone ringing edition. There better not be plastic in my beer, you ass.
Quake!
I don't care.
You need to stop with that voice.
I can't.
It gives you an authority that you do not deserve.
It was a disaster.
It was a disaster.
It was a wreck. There's a subtle difference. A disaster is when a lot of things really, really bad happen. This was like, you know, a mild car accident.
The first one was a wreck. The second was almost a disaster.
The first one was so good.
Dude, you're hitting
Stop slamming. There's a mic right there.
Fuck the mic. I don't give a shit.
People watch this. I don't know why they watch it.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
It was like an oil tanker on fire.
Yeah.
I like to call it a shit show. It was a shit show.
So we're doing it a third time. And our plane got delayed the first day of QuakeCon, and we were supposed to be here at noon. We didn't get here till like 10:30.
So we missed the Doom reveal. But you did not miss the Doom reveal. So
no, I did not.
Tell everybody about it. We don't have any footage. We can't show any footage. There is no footage available. But
that was kind of the cool part, is that, like, you know, they were like, yeah, everything is being streamed live on Twitch TV, and all of a sudden he was like, all right, cut the stream. They cut the stream, and he's like, now that you're here and we're all alone, do you guys want to see something cool? And that was felt kind of special that we got to see it and that nobody has footage. But anyway, so they did show footage. They actually showed gameplay footage. They had one of the guys playing it. I gotta say, it really did look amazing. I thought it was gonna suck and they couldn't revitalize the franchise. It did not. It was really, really good. By far the coolest things was the melee. So the melee on it is not like I chop you. It's like he chops someone's head off. He squashes skulls and pulls hearts out and pulls arms off. There's one time where he got killed and the bad guy came over you, ripped your arms off, and beat the shit out of you with them. And then, like, it's just very, very cool melee, really good audio and sound design, which I know you'll appreciate. I don't know how, but they brought, like, I'm guessing somewhere like 10,000 watts of bass into that ballroom because it was shaking my nostrils when they were playing it. They did dispel the fact that it's a sequel. It's not. It is kind of like an origin game or going back to the original Doom, and it starts on Mars, just like the original one. Well, not really. But this one starts on Mars, and it was awesome. It was really awesome, actually.
You know, just from talking to people, I've heard that they've done away with health packs, and that's kind of been a thing in Doom. You run around. Health does not regen. That makes me happy.
Yes.
But now you absorb health from the fallen foes.
Yeah, little health globes come out of them when you kill them.
I feel like these guys have been playing a lot of God of War, hearing about all the finishing moves, and then hearing about that. It's like these guys have been playing God of War a lot.
And they did. Hideo Kojima did something very similar in the new Metal Gear. Not the Metal Gear Solid 4
like the action game or whatever.
Revengeance, that's the one. And you actually like rip the spine out of the enemy, and you actually like absorb whatever nano machine crap in that game. So I mean, it seems like that's a new thing that they're doing. But my concern is, why is that what's going on? In God of War, you kind of accept it because he's a god.
Yeah.
In the Metal Gear Solid, they said, the Metal Gear game, it's
nanotechnology stuff.
Nanotechnology stuff. So what exactly is it about your character that allows this to happen? I'm just curious.
The way they described it, I don't know why. There's no reason behind it, but for like what you're saying, no logical reason. But what they were saying was that they did that just so that the game kept moving forward and you have to stop and like look for health packs.
Oh sure, no, I mean I understand the game mechanics side of it.
Yeah, but I understand.
If there's
like,
no reason,
there's no reason like what you're saying.
There's no storyline reason for it, which they just haven't told us about it yet. But it is. Yeah.
Maybe it's just that he gets happy because he killed Hellspawn.
Maybe there's something in the aliens that when he kills them, it's like he's
maybe it's a morale boost.
Yeah, it's a morale boost.
Morale boost.
He can run faster with a sprained ankle because
every time he kills somebody, he gets happier.
Yeah, Baron of Hell is dead, and you're like, oh. Yeah, do you get pumped? It's adrenaline, maybe? I don't know.
Something like that.
We're over here. We're trying to do their job for them, and I'm sure they've already done this. So
they're gonna watch.
All right. So another big thing that Bethesda was announcing or like showing off was Battlecry.
So they had some new IP.
Yeah.
And when we first got here, I've been saying, like, guys, I bet they're going to announce Fallout 4 because, it goes Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. We got Elder Scrolls Online. That's kind of doesn't count because it's not an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
It's not an Elder Scrolls game other than the lore.
Yeah.
But I thought Fallout 4 was going to be the big thing, and I wasn't even thinking new IPs.
I was hoping that Fallout 4 was going to be here too.
Well, I mean, I wasn't even hoping. I just didn't think they were going to have some new IPs like this.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
So Battlecry looked like a lot of fun. When we first saw it, we thought it looked almost like Chivalry, but like third person, because there was people with swords and like they were dismembering people, but it's like an arena deathmatch.
When I got closer, I started thinking Warframe from the way the characters move, and since it's third person and it's fast paced, but it doesn't look like the gameplay is like that.
Yeah.
It looks like the gameplay is somewhat dynamic. I mean, you got the jump pads like in Quake and Unreal Tournament that launch you across the level. Lots of fast-paced melee, like lots of slashing and that sort of thing. But then you got like the ranged combat.
They were showing off 3 classes: the Enforcer, the Duelist, and the Tech Archer. We didn't actually get to play it, so I don't have like an idea of what the differences in the classes are. But we did talk to one of the devs, and you can click on the link on this wrench right here. This wrench will be a link to that interview, and you can watch that.
All right, The Evil Within, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen some videos of this online. It looks like a horror game.
Yeah,
and
that nonsense.
They're really pushing it here. So go ahead and
The Evil Within.
you played this.
Yeah, I played it for about 20 to 30 minutes. About 20 minutes of that was loading screen because I played it on a PS4.
Can I rant for a second?
Yeah.
Before you get back into it? Okay, Bethesda. This is QuakeCon. This is not E3. Every time somebody on stage mentioned console, the audience booed. This is the PC Master Race here. You do not bring consoles to the PC Master Race. This is like their biggest thing. Like
they actually had a balls chugging contest on the final night, and the winner got like a bunch of PC parts. A case.
Yeah.
A case.
What is that thing you put up?
I was at a loss for
system in?
But I was at a loss first because one of the things they gave him was a Xbox One Wolfenstein game. Like, why?
Like, hey, look at all these PC parts, and
here's an Xbox game.
And you can,
what?
And you can not play this on these PC parts.
The only thing that it was signed, so I guess it was signed, so that's cool. But it's still an Xbox game with the PC parts. Like,
I thought it was kind of funny to watch them get booed off every time they mentioned it.
But the entire audience booed when they're like, and he gets an Xbox.
And
everyone's like, boo, no. The whole audience was just boo. PC Master Race.
So anyway, Evil Within.
I played The Evil Within for about 30 minutes, and it's pretty cool. It's like Resident Evil 4, Silent Hill. Some of the people that made Resident Evil 4 are working on this game. I was wearing headphones, and I was like fully immersed in like the sounds, and the sound effects are awesome in the game. It's really spooky. And there's actually some ghosts that you actually hide from. Like I said, actually like 4 times there.
Did it actually happen?
Actually. But you have to hide from these ghosts because you can't hurt them. So you have to either hide in a closet or under the bed like a little girl. Like oh, ghosts.
Little boys might hide under the bed too. You
little
sexist.
boy or little girl, little kid. Okay.
Children.
Yeah.
How exactly is it that works? I mean, it's just teaching adults that hiding under the bed actually does.
Yeah,
work
if you want to avoid a ghost, just get in your closet.
I thought
or
under
get
the bed is
bed.
where the monster's hid.
Depends.
But it was weird because the
monster.
the room starts getting like turns blue and there's like this weird noise and it's like it completely changes. And so
It's kind of tense.
You have to like run because I tried shooting it the first time. I was like, ooh, shotgun, let me get this because it's like standing in the doorway and then it just keeps getting closer to you if you don't like hide. And it got to me and like put its arm like straight through my chest and like almost killed me. Like I had like this much health left after that.
Everyone that I talked to that played the game basically had said that they were shitting in their pants half the time.
Yeah,
it's
really,
extremely scary,
like,
and
you're just walking around like if you're not and you running you like run out of breath in like 2 seconds.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you're running, you're like out of breath.
So this guy's a nerd.
Yeah.
He still lives in his mom's basement and he's hiding from ghosts under his bed.
So it was really
just making sure I got that right.
Yeah,
sounds like an interesting character. A lot of games, the characters are like really OP and you're just badasses.
Awesome. Yeah,
it's kind of fun to play something like this, or like Amnesia, where your character is more of a thoughtful explorer and not too much of a badass.
And he has asthma,
Yeah, he's got an inhaler you have to take when you see something that scares you.
Yeah, it seemed like an interesting game. It's very low ammo. You're constantly scrounging and trying to find stuff to be able to keep going forward. But the reason I quit playing it was because I died 3 times, and each time I died was a 10-minute loading screen.
Wow.
And at the 3rd time, I sat the controller down. I'm like, I'm done.
Next gen console.
I'm done with this.
Yeah. And then there was an update from the PlayStation thing, and it took 7 hours
Yeah.
to update the system software.
I got off. I had the controller down. He's like, "You're done." I'm like, "Yeah, F this."
Speaking about updates, one of the nice things about being in QuakeCon was the 2 gigabit per second pipe that we had access to.
The internet was insane.
No.
The internet was...
One of the things that is very interesting about this 2 gig pipe that we had access to is that we've got 150 tables of people. There were 3,500 people here. So if everybody was downloading something through that pipe at the exact same time, we would all be getting less than a megasecond of connection speed. So what they had is 5 giant Dell storage servers. They had 46 terabytes of storage space that they used as a web cache. So that when you were you know, accessing video, they had the entire Steam archive, or the entire Steam library
On cache.
was on cache.
That's why the games were downloading really fast.
Yeah.
It was just pulling it straight from the cache.
And anytime somebody
brilliant.
tried to do a speed test, it was like Zoidberg.
Oh, yeah.
Looking for a speed test? Why not Zoidberg?
What did they do with the internet? It was so funny because if you try to do a speed test, like they said, on any computer in the entire place, if you try to do the speed test, a little thing popped up.
The guy was like,
Zoidberg meme.
The guy's like, we blocked like 12 or 15 of them, and there may be some other speed tests we missed, but we don't want people just wasting bandwidth
For no reason.
so they can, you know, tweet a picture of like how fast the internet is.
Well, it's amazing because the first thing that I do when I get there, I heard about the internet connection. I'm like, oh, speedtest.com, and
You're like,
Yeah.
it's so sad.
All right, what's next on the list?
All right, next on the list is the laptop you looked at,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
the
Okay.
GT72.
All right,
thing
now
is
this laptop
gnarly.
from MSI, right? MSI is doing something that makes me extremely happy. This is a thick desktop replacement laptop with a 17-inch 1080p screen, and it's, you know, of course, it's 4710 or 49. What's the freaking? It's 4710, right? 4710 QM inside there, and
880M.
880M. But the crazy thing is, for M.2 SATA, 128 gigabyte M.2 SATA drives, in RAID 0, 1600 megabytes
In
per
a
second.
laptop.
In a laptop.
That's
Now-
insane.
The MSI that I've got, it's got the same 17-inch screen, it's
Yep.
1080p, it's got 2 SSDs that are 128s in RAID 0, and that thing runs at like a gigasecond. I mean, the thing is pretty screaming
Yeah.
fast. But it's only got like a 680M, and it's got like the 3870 QM processor. I mean, this is
It's a
They
year
have-
too old, yeah.
they have really gone above and beyond and improved that design by a lot.
Yeah, I actually played Titanfall on the laptop, and it was so smooth.
And the SSDs are 256 each, right?
No, it's 128.
Oh, they're 128. So
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
what, total of
512.
512.
Yeah, and they also had a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM drive just thrown in there as well for storage and stuff. I mean,
Wow.
because this is really made to be, I mean, something you would take to a LAN party, something you would use as a desktop replacement, and you can run several monitors. There's two mini display ports in the back, and also an HDMI. You can actually close the thing, run 3 monitors, and do like, you know, and game on all 3. It's that powerful.
Bravo,
That's
MSI.
So
Great laptop.
everybody else that's out there making laptops, we want RAID 0.
4 M.2 RAID zeros.
Meanwhile, back at the wrench, next is the game Rack. It's in early access right now. I played it for a little bit, and the graphics remind me a lot of Borderlands 2, or Borderlands, either one.
It's kind of cell shaded, yeah.
Yeah. And it plays like Doom.
Yeah, I actually play this a little bit too. You basically go into a room, enemies come at you, and you shoot them, and then you figure out how to get out of the room, and every once in a while you have to figure out how to throw a switch and you know, open a door over here or whatever. So it did play just like Doom.
Yeah.
I found the enemies to be kind of boring because they always just came
Straight at you.
Yeah, the ones we fought, they didn't seem to have, you know, tactics or
Maybe we
anything
were
like
playing
that.
a lower difficulty or anything, but literally the game was just go into a room, kill everything that was coming at you, press a button, go into the next room, kill everything that's coming at you. It was very repetitive, but it was fun. But after like 20 minutes of doing that, there needs to be more puzzles or something put into the game.
This is to the developer, dude. I like the weapons a lot, and I like the mechanics a lot. I like the way the
sword
game
was
plays.
a lot of fun.
The
There's
sword,
a sword weapon.
yeah, it's a great melee weapon. Make this multiplayer, and we will all play it. We'll run a server. It would be a lot of fun. So
and add more puzzles. Make it more difficult to get through each room.
I mean, who knows? There may be puzzles in the higher game we haven't played yet, to be fair, but...
And it's still in early access.
That game was, it was in early access.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool game.
Tell us about Quake Live coming to Steam. Let's talk about that.
I play a lot of Quake Live, and one of the things that there's a couple of questions I have about how it's going to work. One is that you're going to get the Steam overlay, so you can have your conversations with your Steam friends. But I'm curious if it's going to allow you to just start playing Quake Live with your friends on Steam, invite them directly, or you're still going to have to use the Quake Live interface to have your friends in Quake Live and your conversations in Quake Live.
And will the friends lists merge, or will you have to have 2 different friends lists?
That's exactly how
it
it's
feels like it's going to be redundant. I mean, I can't see why they would allow both friends lists. If I'm id Software, I would probably think, you know what? A lot of these guys that play Quake Live, I would bet that 100% of them have Steam and have a Steam account, and maybe they're friends. So I would bet that my guess is that the entire Quake Live community thing is going to be just the Steam community. But that's my
And a
guess.
lot of people were saying that, like, oh, Quake, is that on Steam? Like, they wouldn't even play unless it's on Steam.
Now, the next thing up, for me, as far as like questions go, now that it's on Steam, and it's got the whole Steam community, and it's got, Steam Workshop, is this going to be open up for mods? Because Quake Live has not been very mod friendly as opposed to like standard Quake. In Quake 2 and Quake Arena, you can actually get some mods for.
Well, one of the other things about Quake Live, you got to remember, is that it was built on WebGL. I mean, and the whole thing was originally designed as a browser plugin. And then the only reason it's changed recently is because of the way that the browsers are running the original. It was actually an original Netscape plugin.
Right.
They stopped using that same kind of functionality, so they built a plug-in loader, and that's what you're actually running Quake Live in, is the loader. That's why they also didn't create a Linux version or a Mac version. You just run the .exe file in whatever kind of virtualization you want, because it's so simple and it's so base that they're like, it works in everything.
It works on anything.
Right. So you're thinking there probably won't be room for mods and stuff.
No, that's another. No, maybe, but I'm just saying it's not your regular run-of-the-mill game. The other thought I just had while speaking of Linux and Mac is, if it's coming to Steam, will it just run straight out of Steam? Are they going to build something inside of Steam that allow it to run on the Mac?
I hope what they don't do is have you load it from Steam and then put it into the Quake Live, so it's like double DRM. That would make me mad.
Well, yeah. Well, but it's free game, so I guess.
Yeah, but it's still double DRM.
Yeah.
Is there DRM on free games?
Well, I mean,
A loader is the DRM.
Yeah, kind of DRM. Yeah. I suppose maybe.
Well, speaking of Quake and the mods and everything, there was a really cool mod that somebody was showing you for Quake that was in the BYOC. You guys talked to him for a while. You talked to him a lot longer than we did.
I actually had a really long conversation with this guy, and it was really cool because he was more excited to tell us about the mod and what was going on, and then he came up to me like 5 hours later. He's like, I didn't even realize who you guys were when you were talking to me. So he came up. He was like, I was so glad to meet you, talk to you guys. It was great.
Let me preface the story real quick by saying this is we walked by and we saw someone playing Quake 1.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like Quake 1. Like the water had some amazing effects. There was like there was actually parallax textures on the walls, so you get that. It's even bumpier than bump mapping.
The other thing that was really cool that he was showing me was the mechanics and the physics for the weapons. Like if you blast with a shotgun, it actually will push your opponent back. If you blast him with the double barrel shotgun, it'll push you back.
Right.
You actually get a little bit of kickback yourself.
Right.
The rockets, the particle effects for the rockets underwater, because you're underwater, so they don't have a lot of fire. So when it would explode, you get like the snuffed out explosion. The damage is still there, but the explosion didn't look like an explosion underwater. It was really nifty. It was really awesome, and it's this all-inclusive. It's like a 3.5 gig texture / audio. I mean, it's
and you have the file, right?
And I've got the file.
We
He
can
gave
give
it
him
to
a
me.
download link.
Where can they get that link?
Well, so there's a mod DB link, and
right here.
he was the one who actually.
And here.
No.
No, we're not starting this again.
We did that last night. They were messing with me when we filmed the first one. I was talking about putting a link here, and everybody's like, "In here, in here, in here, in here, here."
Just cut it in.
Right here.
No.
And it'll be right here. It'll be this. You just click on this.
There's one link. All right. So speaking of Quake Live and Steam and everything, Rise of the Triad Live. Talk about that.
Oh yes, we got to talk to Terry. He's one of the original members of Apogee Software. He's been there since the beginning, and we were like, hey, what's going on? There's going to be a link for that right on the wrench right there to go see the interview with him. I basically just nerded out for a little while and talked about the good old days of gaming, and then also talked about what's to come. And he said they're going to be doing Rise of the Triad live. So that's going to be very interesting.
Will it be on Steam?
Will it be on
I don't
Steam?
know where it's going to be.
I won't play it unless it's on Steam.
I mean, yeah. And Rise of the Triad, I like the way they're doing things. They've released it to all platforms right now, pretty much. I mean, all platforms are I guess it's on Steam, but yes, it's also DRM free on good old games. And I think it's hilarious. When this game first came out, like day one, the tweet came from them like, "Hey everybody, Rise of the Triad has launched. You can get it right here on Good Old Games, or you can get it loaded with hot DRM on Steam." And that was their marketing tweet, loaded with hot DRM. So
that was hilarious.
Yeah, I got it on Good Old Games, of course, where all you guys should be getting things as well. The Steam thing is cool. but good old games. Never mind.
Anyway, so in the BYOC there was tons of computer. I actually never been to QuakeCon before, and I've never seen so many computers in one room in my life.
A lot of nice computers too.
Yeah.
Never
So tell
seen
us-
Wendell's basement.
You guys are about to see a lot of V1 Tech case mods in our upcoming videos. So tell us about some of the other cases that were there.
Well, you mentioned that, so I'll go ahead. I was going to do a V1 Tech as our sponsor this year. They've got a ton of interesting case mods. They just launched their website, and you can click on the screen, click on that wrench. You guys can see their website.
Oh,
And
I got to do this because this is one of their little things.
oh
right
yeah,
here.
yeah. There.
Click on this right here.
And their Elder Scrolls Online case got second place in the case modding competition, which
Yep.
is a big
And they're-
deal because there's 3,500 computers here, and I swear, like a third of them are actually like
My favorite part of that
modified
case
cases with
was
water
the
cooling
etching on the water cooling.
Like
Yeah.
the Daedric
Yeah.
on the reservoir.
Yeah.
on the reservoir,
Yeah.
on the radiators. It was all over the place. Power supply.
I think it's kind of silly, but I think my favorite thing, I love the fact that they put like a screen in the bottom.
Oh yeah,
Like an
super
LCD
cool.
screen, and they've got like a Skyrim water effect going on in that. It looks really slick.
Very slick.
Now, they've got all that stuff going on. There's a lot of case mods. There's a separate case mod video you guys should go check out. But we have a Tech Syndicate case mod. It's they put together the system sponsored by Intermax and an Intermax case. It's really awesome, and you guys can win that by clicking on the wrench. There's a lot of links to insert.
Yeah, there's a lot of links in this
You
video.
got this though, right?
Yeah, I got this.
All right.
Oh, and I gotta
This is all
thank V1
annotation.
Tech for making my chain,
Quake or
my
Quake?
bling.
A Quake over here.
All right, so tell us about some of the other case mods, like
All right, when you first walk in,
yeah.
you go first right in the door, and there's this huge castle-looking thing. I'm talking this thing is, several
this
feet.
table.
like size of this table, like here.
Yeah, and like tall.
Yeah.
And inside it, he put like, I'm not sure if it was hydraulic or a pneumatic lift, but basically there was a lift on the inside. So one compartment on the inside would like rise out of the castle. And it was a bit wobbly because there's only one in the middle, like one, one lifted right in the middle of everything. So it was kind of like, but it was still pretty awesome.
was
LCD
cool.
screens on each side of the thing.
Dual PCs inside as well.
Yeah, it was completely ridiculous.
Yep.
Like there's usually two different types of case mods. You see like just the ridiculous and cool ones, and then like the uber sleek, clean,
Yeah.
professional ones.
Yeah.
So this was definitely on the ridiculous and cool.
Yeah, it was
what the
like
hell is that?
plywood. It had a
Jesus,
couple
why would
little
you do
like
this?
nails hanging out. It wasn't exactly
Yeah.
fully
But it was still
refined,
just,
but
it's still just like, what the hell is that? That's amazing.
What else?
Somebody actually built R2D2
Yeah.
and had a computer inside of R2D2.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was a mineral oil PC that had half mineral oil and half water, and it had fish swimming in the
Yeah,
front.
there's live sharks living in like.
Live
Yeah.
sharks.
Yeah, they were sharks.
There were sharks.
The
in there.
freshwater
They
sharks.
were little sharks.
Little freshwater sharks.
Yeah, but they were swimming around in there. What he did
And
was
no
he
one
like
died?
it was like
Everyone's
a
so
it was
scared
like a
of
cutoff. So like where the PC parts
Yeah.
were mineral oil, and then where the fish were
But
swimming.
you couldn't tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
could not
completely
see.
clear. It looked
Yeah.
like they were swimming in the PC. It was
Yeah.
pretty
It
cool.
looked great.
What
And
else?
there's
And
also
the
the-
one that actually beat the V1 Tech case mod was this cool Dishonored modded case. I didn't even know it was Dishonored. It just looked like a steampunk case to me.
Yeah.
And the top had like these two spinning.
Camshafts.
Yeah,
I know you're not a car guy.
I'm not a car guy.
Yeah.
So they just look. It looked very steampunk
These
to me.
spinning teeth things.
And it had all the water cooling was done with brass or copper
Yeah.
hoses and stuff. It was kind of cool.
And on the front, it looked like if you broke a watch in half, and there's all these gears moving around and stuff.
Yeah.
It looked
That
great.
one was really well put
Yeah.
together, clean looking. Got first place, and I'm going to put that in the really cool and awesome category.
Yeah.
Because it's just like.
And then actually somebody
Freaking cool.
made a tank out of 95% 3D printed material. Like,
That was
it just
impressive.
A tank, and it was a remote control. Like he was
You
moving
could actually move it
He was
around. I didn't
driving
see
it
that
around.
one. That was crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like everything was like he would 3D print the individual tracks and then snap them together, and he
Yeah.
designed everything from scratch. So you literally could probably get
The-
that file from him,
the only
3D print it
things-
yourself, and then make that.
The only things that weren't 3D printed was the PC parts in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. And then we're working on that. I really like the little console from Adventure Time. What is that console called? Compy or?
I don't know. It's like a
No,
little. It looked like a little
that's
Game
that's
Boy.
strong bad. What? BMO?
BMO.
Yeah, there was a BMO case. That was pretty cool. It actually looked
Yeah, this
really
screensaver was
clean.
a face, so if you weren't using it, like a face popped up, so it made it look like the character.
You know what I
Yeah.
liked? Gigabyte at their booth had that little. What was that small case they used to make a Death Star?
Oh yeah. the
Oh,
Death
that
Star
no, that
case.
was not Gigabyte. That was.
That was Modders Inc.
Oh, it was Modders Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're using it's Zotac. It's a little Zotac case.
Yeah, and it
And
turned
yeah,
it's
into
got
the
a
Death
sphere,
Star.
They turn it into the Death
Like
Star.
a
with melodies
Zotac
and
makes this
stuff.
little
That was
orb
cool.
case. Yeah.
That was cool.
And
And then we
then-
saw that skull, that
Yeah,
really
the
big
skull. That was the
skull.
Ghost Rider PC.
That
it had,
was
like,
cool.
It had like smoke coming out, and then like a skull with like lighting up
No,
eyes.
no. The one that we saw later, there was an actual big
Oh,
skull
like
like this
it
big,
was
was
a different
clear.
skull one that I
It
was
was like a
thinking of.
crystal skull PC that was like this
Yeah.
big,
It was just a skull
big lit up skull. Very cool.
Built in a real crystal skull found in
from
Chile.
the,
Yeah.
from Indiana Jones brought it to the event.
Yeah. All right. What else is there to talk about?
Any cases? You haven't been talking about any cases.
You guys covered all the cases that I saw. It was not exactly I wasn't. Looking at cases, you see that stuff, and it's things that I say. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. The one that actually won with the camshafts and the Dishonor, that one was pretty nifty. But my real desire when I got here was, how is this whole thing put together? It's it's the background behind QuakeCon, the network, how much cable was here, and I found out that there was over 100,000 feet of cable that was actually running all of your network. There were 150 table switches, which each one was like a 24-port switch, so everybody had a 10100 port to their machine. Like you said, there was a 2 gig connection to the internet. Everybody was on a public IP block. So they
had a huge block of public IPs.
Every single person in this event had a public IP address, which was crazy. And that was really more what I was kind of interested in. I was hovering around the knock. They wouldn't let me back there to get some video of it.
It's distracting.
That place was locked up tight. I could not get in there. I tried real hard to weasel my way in there, and they were not having it.
Yeah, no way. I ended up having a really long conversation with a guy named Hack. Yeah, thank you very much, by the way.
Hack, you're awesome.
He gave me all of the information that I needed. He told us about it was 192 gigabit ports on the main switch, the core switch that was running the event. Then we had it was 40. I started to mention this. There's 46 terabytes of web cache that they were using that ran the entire event, and the that was pretty much all.
We're gonna put that all in our experience video as well. So you guys
that was where I was really what I was really interested in. So it wasn't so much case mods, and the tower of balls that I saw was amazing.
Oh
but,
And during peak hours of gaming, there was 25,000 packets a second going out.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy event.
People were building ball towers out of pizza boxes and balls.
Did it reach the ceiling? Because last year it hit the ceiling. I heard.
I saw six tier. I think it was a 6-tier tower, and then they just had like a trail off to the side. I mean,
balls was a really big part of QuakeCon.
Yeah, it was.
It is no joke.
I mean, this is almost balls con, and the balls jokes just don't stop.
Yeah,
they didn't stop the entire weekend.
Yeah.
But why did they add high fructose corn syrup to it? High fructose corn syrup.
They probably got bought by Pepsi, I think.
Yeah,
that happened.
Why did they add that? It used to taste so good.
It's just really sweet now. I mean,
it's too sweet.
To be fair, sugar. If you're gonna drink a sweet and sugary drink, it's going to be a sweet and sugary drink, but high fructose corn syrup, it just makes it even sweeter tasting.
Yeah. They used to taste so much better. But anyway, speaking of the BYOC, what were some of the games you guys saw most in the BYOC?
Well, of course, Quake Live is being played everywhere. I saw.
They even had their own servers.
Yeah. It was kind of sad. I saw some people playing single player games.
What?
Every once in a while, I'll walk by and be like, "Oh, is that Elder Scrolls on? Oh, that's Skyrim. What are you doing? Dude,
are you doing a LAN party?
Yeah. It's I don't want to sit home and be antisocial. I want to go in public and be antisocial. It's no, it's not what we're here for.
There was a lot of Dota, and if you went to the back of the event, there was a lot of League of Legends back there.
Back where they belong.
Yeah. And then what was really cool was they had Star Wars going on loop the entire weekend on one of the
projectors.
Walls.
It's cool that people brought their projectors because they knew they were going to be next to walls and they just projected whatever they wanted.
Yeah, one guy in the back also, he didn't even bring a monitor. He just brought a projector and put it to the wall next to his computer.
Wasn't he wearing it or something? Or?
Yeah.
Well, there's one guy that had it above his head and he put, instead of having a screen, he put just a paper screen, but it was 75 inches across, and he was just playing, staring up with the projector over his head.
There was some huge monitors like this. Some people have 40-inch monitors, and I'm like, how did you bring that in here?
Well, we met
with that?
Brandon. Brandon had an Infinity setup.
Yeah.
He was sitting close to us. I saw somebody that was using one of those Seiki 4K
30 hertz
42-inch TVs with a 2-second delay or lag, which was pretty interesting.
Watch, I'm gonna press jump now. There he goes.
What else did I saw? You played on that super ultra wide angle.
Yeah, I was very angry.
Yeah.
I actually love that monitor, 2560 by 1080. So it's ultra wide, and then trying to play some games on that.
You didn't love that monitor.
Oh, I love it for productivity and
it's not good for gaming.
Gaming, no. I mean, it stretches out. I was shooting 12% accuracy.
You have to get a game that can actually handle the native resolution. I think what happened was you switched Quake Live to 1080 or 2560 by 1920.
I was trying to run it on
and it ended up stretching it in really weird ways.
Right.
So not only do you have a wide FOV, but suddenly you just have this stretched.
Aiming.
I don't know. I opened up the console and did the commands, and it still looked weird and stretched. I did the commands that set the horizontal and vertical resolution. Still looked weird and stretched. It was literally 12% accuracy. I go to a different machine, I'm like 44%. I'm like, okay.
I know. As soon as you walked off of that thing, I sat down and started messing with the Quake Live config, and I just got right back into the game, and I was destroying.
Couldn't
things.
do it. Couldn't do it.
It was good times. That was a good monitor. It was a really good monitor. I really liked the one.
I had an entire conversation with Qain. Well, not a conversation, but I literally talked to him for like 10 minutes, and then I was like, "What do you think about that?" And I look over, and he's just like, and I realized that he hadn't heard a word I was saying.
He was just like in the game.
The man was a zombie.
No, there was a couple of times where I was playing and I got into like a clan arena match where it's best at the first team to 10 wins is the winner of the match. And every single round, somebody came up and was like, "Hey man, what's going on? Hey man, that's really cool." I'm like, "I'm going to kill you." I mean, like the first round, I destroyed the other team, and then round 2. No, somebody came up and talked to me. Round 3, somebody came up and talked to me. Round 4, some guy out of nowhere just stood like uncomfortably close to my back, and he's like, "Man, that's a great monitor." I'm like, "Dude, get your dick out of my head. Go away." Next thing I know, all you guys are coming around like, "We're going to go to lunch, and you guys want something?" I'm like, "I'm playing a game. Go away." I almost bit Jimmy's head off. He sits down after you guys cleared out to go to lunch.
He was like the last one.
I come back, I'm like, "Where is everybody?" And he's like, "I'm playing a game." I'm like, "I just was asking where everybody was."
I will kill you.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason
So
why
last
I haven't
night,
voiced
after
anymore.
we filmed the 2 failed WASD episodes,
I think they're better than this one.
Yeah.
This sucks.
We're doing a lot more informative in this one.
Yeah,
we're calm. And we're calm. We haven't
Qain's
been
not yelling
drinking.
at anybody.
Yeah. But after we
I'm not
filmed
pouring
those
beer in
2,
my
we went.
crotch.
Yeah.
I'm not dripping shit in Jimmy's hair.
Yeah. We went down and played some Quake, and us 3 were actually top for a while, and then some guy joined our server. It was like 9 people at the
I wanna
time.
say his name
was a
was
10th
Wiggle.
person. And then
Probably right after
he
the
went
competition
like
was over.
from
He's
like
"Let's go
bottom
kill
to
some
like
noobs."
top in like less than 5 minutes and just destroyed us.
I
and we're
think
like,
we had like
okay.
35, 36 frags apiece.
Yeah.
And he joined in. His name was Wiggle.
And then we were at 35, 36, and he went from 0 to 50 before we even got
And
to
like,
50.
and like,
I'm like,
his
oh, I hate you
KDR
so
was
much.
like
Yeah. He was
50
50
kills,
to
like
I
five
think
deaths.
his 11.
I think it was 11.
It was 11.
11?
50 and
Okay.
11.
We were
I
like
know that
30.
because I was like-
We were like 36 and 20, 36 and 21, something like that.
Dude, Wiggle, if you're watching, what the hell, dude?
Why'd
I
you do
hate
that
you
to us?
so much.
We had top 3.
He's probably one of the competitors for sure.
He's probably a nice guy.
All right. So is there anything else we
Yeah.
want to say about QuakeCon before we end this?
Next year we're going to be back here. People
We
get
love
ready.
this event.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
it.
a great event. It's really fun.
I didn't realize that this was going to be like our event.
Yeah.
Computex and this are like our things, I think, now.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because we go to PAX and we've gone to PAX Prime, PAX East.
Yeah.
I went to PAX Australia. We go to CES. We went to Computex, and this one here every 5, 6, 7 minutes, like walking through the event was a trek and a half because every single time you turn around, somebody was like, "Oh my God, Jimmy! Wow, can I get your autograph?" And you're like, "It's cool, man. You don't have to." Calm down.
We're all
It's
just here to
all
play
right.
games, man.
We're just here to play
Yeah,
games.
we're
It's
just
cool.
there's people to come say hello.
It was fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like
People actually
on.
knew who we were. When you go to CES, we get like 1 or 2 people who know who we are, or the cab driver. The cab driver.
bizarre.
It was after CES.
The
I
cab
was
driver
in
knew who you were?
I was in a cab with some of my friends of mine, and he turns around. He almost crashed the cab. He turns around. He's like, "Oh my God, are you that guy from Tech Syndicate?" I'm like, yeah. And my 2 friends are looking at me like, "Who the hell are you?"
Weren't your 2 friends
I'm
like
Qain.
like very famous musicians or something? Like
Well, one of them was one of the guys was London After Midnight.
Yeah, like way bigger than us.
Yeah, way bigger than us.
I mean,
But,
like-
no, it was my 2 friends.
it's like somebody
Melanie and
hanging.
Carolyn.
That's like us hanging out with Brad Pitt and someone walking up to us and being like, "Hey."
Yeah, no, it
Who's this
was
guy?
pretty hilarious. But I mean,
This is
but
ridiculous.
even in Computex, people knew who we were. We come here, and everybody was like, "You guys, yeah," and they were coming up out of the woodwork. So
We get to play with a lot of
kudos
our
to you
audience.
guys.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
That was
It was
pretty
great
awesome.
meeting everybody.
Yeah, it was really cool hanging out with our audience, and I feel like this is where our audience is, and we'll be back next year. So come and play some games with us next year.
So
Absolutely.
That was a good place to end it right there, I think. Yeah, don't you guys think so?
yeah, thanks for watching.
Put a link right here on
There's no more
And here.
links. Why?
and yeah, and this one, and on my phone,
Just link to anything. I don't care.
and Jimmy's face.
www.whatever.com.